maybe every day of the week or something, or every Monday and Thursday. And they're going to do all these tefillahs and kavanas and whatever. They're going to lock themselves up and learn all day, whatever. And maybe this is what the Rebbe means, that there should be 10 stubborn people to bring Mashiach. 10 guys shall lock themselves up in a room, and that's the way they're going to bring Mashiach. This is what one guy wrote to the Rebbe. There's another woman, she wrote to the Rebbe said there should be an action, you should be stubborn to bring Mashiach. Maybe she thought, maybe the Rebbe wants, she should go up to Shamayim and, storm the heavens that Mashiach should come. Which, I'm not sure what she meant to go up to Shamayim, but it looks like she was like, I don't know if she wanted to commit suicide or she wanted to, I don't know what, make aliyah on a shom. I don't know what, I'm not sure. But she wrote to go up to storm the heavens, go up to Shamayim and this. So both of these people, the Rebbe wrote the same answer. And the Rebbe explained this answer by Riches in the Fabrengen of Yud Gimel Iyad, Erev Pesach Sheni. The Rebbe then said that in order to know what do we need to do to bring the Geula, we need to know what is the Geula. And the Rebbe brought the word Geula is Gimel Aleph Vav Lamed Hey. Geula. Golus is Gimel Vav Lamed Hey. Goyla Golus. Someone would think that what's Geula? What's the difference between Golus and Geula? You have to take the Golus and delete the Golus. Take the whole Golus and throw it in the garbage. And what's the Geula? To come to a whole new planet, a whole new thing, a whole new world, a whole new galaxy. But no. And in the same Sikha, they never pointed out, actually, interestingly, that there's also another, so there's a group of people that think, how are we going to bring the Geula? They want Mashiach to come, that's by flying to Mars. By opening up a koilel and locking yourself up in a room, or by, for this woman said she wants to go up and storm the heavens. There's another group of people that were scared Mashiach's going to come. And when Mashiach's going to come, this guy just paid for the mortgage of his house. He just, finished paying his lease for his car. This guy has his business, his work, he has his connections, he has his friends, he has his this, he has his that. He's all settled over here, wherever he is. Now Mashiach's going to come, he's going to lose everything. He's scared. Mashiach's going to come, we're going to go to somewhere else. He's going to lose his whole life. He's going to lose everything. So what does this person also think? He thinks, what's Mashiach? The same thing. He thinks that we're going to fly somewhere else. We're going to leave everything behind, and we're going to go to a new world. And he doesn't want to lose the world that he has now in Golis. Or the other people, that they want Mashiach to come, so they think, what is a Mashiach? It's a new planet, a new world. So let's go take off to Mars. So the Rebbe said, what is Geula? What we just said over here about the name Yisrael Adilay. Geula is that you have the Geula, you have the same Golus, you have the same world. And how do you bring the Geula? That is in the Golus to stick in the Aleph, to stick in the Eibishter, the Alufay Shaloilam, the creator of the world, the boss of the world, into the Golus. What is Geula? Not to delete the Golus and to go somewhere else. So those that are scared they're going to lose their house, don't think you're going to lose your house. Don't think you're going to lose your car. Don't think you're going to lose your whole world. The Geula is not flying to somewhere else. The Geula is not to run away from the Goyla to the Aleph. It's the other way around. It's to take the Aleph and stick it into the Goyla. To bring the Eibishter into your house and into your car and into your business and into all your connections. To reveal the Eibishter, to bring the Eibishter down into this world. It's not only Yisrael. It's not only Torah that's higher than the world. Rather, it is to take the Eibishter and bring the Eibishter into the world. To bring the Aleph into the Golis. And so to these people that they wanted to make the Koilel, or this lady that wanted to go to the Shrine, they never wrote to both of them the same exact answer. They never said, you want to bring Mashiach. Don't open up a Koilel and lock yourself up. And what are you doing? You're basically running away from the Goyla. The Rebbe said, go and make Yidden that don't put on tefillin, they should start putting on tefillin. Go give Yidden mezuzahs. Go reveal the Eibishter in the whole world. Don't lock yourself. Don't run away from the Goyla. That's not going to bring the Geula. It's to reveal the Eibishter in the Goyla. And so to this woman that she wanted to fly to Shemayim. The Rebbe said that's not Geula. Geula is down here. To make a dinner betachtoinim in this world, to reveal the Eibishter in the world. The Rebbe said when you're going to be more in this world and you're going to reveal the Eibishter in this world, that's going to bring the Geula faster. And that's the Hayro from Yisrael Ad Yeleib, that it should be both ways of Yisrael, to be connected to Torah, number one. You can't just be in the world and be some grub yung, some coarse guy, just be in the world and say, okay, that's good or no. It's to take the Eibishter and bring that into the world. So you do need to know, first of all, that your source is Torah. You need to be connected to the Eibishter. You need to daven. You need to learn Chassidus. You need to learn, you need to be connected to Hashem. You need to be connected to Ein Sof. And then you can take that Aleph and stick it into the world. Then you, after you have Shish basis then you can have him Saritzim like him Menachem Tuchli. You're not going to be connected to Torah to the Eibush. You're not going to be Matzliach to make a dinner betachtoinim. What are you going to make a dinner betachtoinim if you don't have an Eibush to machlai? It's a dinner Allah use barich betachtoinim. L'chaim u'levrach. Allah has kama v'kama teva k'vulam chobel eslamavay malayno. Allah has kama v'kama teva k'vulam chobel eslamavay malayno. She'etziyanu mimitzrayim, She'etziyanu mimitzrayim. Ay, 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 la la la, ay, 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 la la la, ay, 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 la la la, la la la, la la la, ay, ay, ay. Allah has kama v'kama teva k'vulam chobel eslamavay malayno. Allah has kama v'kama teva k'vulam chobel eslamavay malayno. She'etziyanu mimitzrayim, She'etziyanu mimitzrayim.
we want Mashiach now.
We want Mashiach now. Today is Pesach Sheni. Like it says in Ayom Yom, the meaning of Pesach Sheni is, it says, Nidokein farfalin. There's no such a thing. It is a lost case. It's too late. That's it. You lost out. There's no such a thing. You can always correct what you need to correct. Even someone that was Tomei, and even if it was Derech Rachoika, and even if it was Lachem, you can always correct, you can always fix. Which, like the Rebbe spoke many times, when it comes to a day, Tavshim and Tes, it is Kislev, it says you open up the Ayom Yom and you see what does it say on that day. That's today's day. The idea, the Maila of Baal Tshuva. The Maila of someone that even if he made a mistake and he didn't do what he needed to do, he should never think that it's too late. How many times the Alter Rebbe emphasizes in Tanya that even when it says even if someone says, I'm going to sin, and then I'm going to do tshuva, such a guy, they're not going to let him do tshuva. Because he's relying on the tshuva, so that's why he's making him sin, so they're not going to let him do tshuva. So the Alter Rebbe says, even then he can also do tshuva. Why? What does it mean? They're not going to help him out. They're not going to give it to him, they're not going to make it easy for this guy to do tshuva. But if he pushes, if the guy works extra hard, even such a person can do tshuva. Even on things that it says, certain avedos that you cannot do tshuva, the Alter Rebbe says, what does that mean that you cannot do tshuva? And tshuva doesn't help. Tshuva tator doesn't help. Only tshuva law helps. The lower type of tshuva is not going to help, but the different type, if you do tshuva law, that's going to help. Which means a person should never, like they say, it's a breslev of art, but really this is no breslev. This is an Ayom Yom. There's no losing hope at all in the world. You could always, and we have to know this is one of the main oirois of Pesach Sheni. Now we need to drill it in our head that if someone sees that he messed up, you should never give up. You have to know you could always. There's no. I was thinking, it's also a yahrzeit of Yisrael Al Yuleib. I remember, I don't even know why I mentioned this, a week before my Zaydi's yahrzeit. So I remember, I was thinking after my Zaydi was nifter, whatever. So I was very close with him. I said a lot of Tehillim for him, whatever. So I was thinking how lucky we are that we're Yidden. A guy, if someone Lahavdil has a dog, okay, Lahavdil, the dog dies. That's it, kaput. He's never seen his dog again. His dog is getting buried, and the story's over. Bye bye. Our guy is the same thing. Our guy is whatever dies. Goodbye. He's never seen this person again. It's a yid. It's a timely thing. It's a timely thing. For now, he's in now he's buried, whatever. And soon he's going to be Tchisa Mason. And he's going to come back. How lucky we are that we're Yidden. I'm saying you see this Nidokein farfalin. There's no such a thing that something is lost. There's no lost. You have the Holocaust. You have so many Meshuggah things that happen to the Yidden. They think that they won us over. Or you had October 7th. Gornished. There's Nidokein farfalin, and by Yidden there's no such a thing as farfalin. The angel is going to make Tchisa Mason and bring everyone back. Hu Elokeinu,
Hu Avinu,
Malkeinu, Moshienu,
Hu Yashenu, V'Yigalenu.
Vaysheinis Bekaroi, V'Yashmienu, V'Rachmavei, V'Chaylei, V'Ein Lo Al Tiyaschem, Achris, Kivrei Shizmi, Yezlachem, Leileikim, Ein Lo Al Tiyaschem, Achris, Kivrei Shizmi, Yezlachem, Leileikim. Ay, 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 Shenis Bekaroi, Yashminu, Berachmavei, Kochaylei, Berei, Kohaldiyaschem, Achris, Kivrei Shizli, Yizlachem, Leileikim, Hey, Kohaldiyaschem, Achris, Kivrei Shizli, Yizlachem, Leileikim. Ay, 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 The Rambam starts off. The Rambam gathers together all 613 mitzvahs. The Rambam is a book of halachas of Torah. The Rambam comes and says all the Rambam says all the halachas of Torah. The Rambam is coming to bring out. No, it's not a Chassidish sefer. The Rambam is coming to say what are the halachas of Torah. Now, when the Rambam starts off saying what is all the 630 mitzvahs, he says that Yesoida is Mahmuda Chochmeis Leida Sheyeshem Matzirishe. Before the Rambam talks about all the halachas of the Torah, about Hilchos Shabbos and Hilchos Talmud Torah, saying all the different dinim of the 613 mitzvahs. The first book of the Rambam, and in the beginning of the first sefer of the Rambam says, what is the foundation? What comes before? You don't build a building without a foundation. Then the building is going to collapse. There's a foundation, which on that foundation you can build a building, and only then the building will stand. What is the foundation of all the foundations? And what is the beam that holds up all the wisdoms? What comes before Chochmas HaTorah? That is to know, to understand, to know with your seichel. Leida sheyeshem matzirishin. You need to know. You need to know that there is the first being. You need to know that there is an Eibishter. The Rambam does not say lahamin. You should believe that there's a Hashem. That means it's very simple. Just know, okay, Hashem exists. That's it. But that's not what the Rambam says. You need to know. You need to understand with your seichel, with your chochmah bina das, leida, that Hashem exists, that Hashem is real. And that comes before you start learning the rest of the Torah. And that's actually interesting that we see that in Teinchet Mimim. This is how we start off our day. We start off our day, before we learn Gemara, before we open up a Gemara, we have Seder Chassidus in the morning. Because if you want your Gemara to last, you need a foundation. You can't have a Gemara without a foundation. The Gemara is not you're gonna put, imagine you don't have a table, you open up your Gemara and put it down, it's gonna fall on the floor. You need to have something to hold it up. What holds up your Gemara? That's to know that there's an Eibishter. If there's no Eibishter, then your whole Gemara cannot stand. What's so important about the Gemara? You should learn Gemara. It's very good to learn Gemara. But you need to have, like it says, on one hand, Lo Am Ha'aretz Chassid. If you're not Am Ha'aretz, you don't learn Gemara, you can't be considered a Chassid. On the other hand, Ein Bur Yerei Chait. If you're not going to learn Chassidus, you're not going to be a God-fearing Jew. What's interesting, it says actually, Friedrich Rebbe brings in a Sikha that the Rajba, if I remember correctly, the Rajba, the Marshal, one of them, when he would write his Truvas, he used to put gold and silver all over his table. And then he would write his Truvas, because that would give him a Harchovas Adas. It would give him a broader mind. It would give him a more open mind to write his Truvas with a stronger depth. So the Friedrich Rebbe says, what gives us a harchovas hadas? What gives us this open mind? It's not a physical kesef ezov, but it's the ava v'yira, to love and fear. Kesef is meloshin nichsef nechsafti. Meloshin it's it's a term of longing and wanting. It's going on avas Hashem. Kesef and Yizov is referring to fear and God of God. And he said, for us, we don't put physical gold and silver on the table to put us open mind to learn. He says, we have our Avas Hashem and Yiras Hashem. The Chassidus that we learn, that gives us Avas Hashem and Yiras Hashem. This gives us, when we open up a Gemara, we learn it with a whole different depth. The depth that we learn the Gemara after we learn Chassidus, it's much, much deeper. And actually, I'm learning now. I don't know if it should be advertised, but I'm learning with different people, whatever. And I see people that learn Chassidus, their depth when they learn Gemara and when they learn Nigla is totally different. People that don't learn Chassidus, their svaras that they say are very, very kinderish. I'm sorry. It's very not deep. It's very like whatever. When you learn Chassidus, when you learn, Alter Rebbe says a little kid. What does a little kid want? What does a little kid want? He wants candies. You're not going to give him the candy. He's going to cry. When he gets a little older, he wants money, or he wants something else. The Rebbe actually said this once by Fabrengen. Oh, you mentioned Rabbi Yisrael Aryaleib. The Rebbe sent to Rabbi Yisrael Aryaleib's Einaklach. It's actually the only, whatever. Rabbi Yisrael Aryaleib had Einaklach and has Einaklach and Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe, through his secretary, Rabbi Yomi Klein, the Rebbe sent for Chanukah $100 bill and a silver dollar coin. Or a gold coin. It looks like a gold-plated coin. And he offered the kids, what do you want? The coin or the $100 bill? And what did the kids take? Took the coin. Not the $100 bill. Why? Because for him, the coin is shiny. It looks more exciting. So he took the coin. But if he would be a little bit older, You would know what's worth more. A $100 bill. With this $100 bill, you can buy, 100 of these little coins. So according to someone's Chacham bin Adas, according to his, why does a kid want small things? The desire for candies and whatever is because that's what his feelings of his heart, that's his desires from his heart. The desires of someone's heart comes from his brain. That's the way it works. A person has his Chacham bin Adas, his understanding, and his brain gives birth to his feelings. So because a little kid has a little head, little teeny brain, so he wants little teeny things. But when he gets older and his mind gets opened, so he starts wanting bigger things. Okay? I'm going to offer you now a candy. To daven, you're not going to want it. But if you'd be 3 years old, you shake like a lulav or whatever to get your candy. So according to someone's seichel is his midos. And the Alter Rebbe says, so too, if a person is going to if his head is going to be, let's say, the whole day into baseball, okay? So what is he going to want? His desires of his heart is going to be into baseball stuff, okay? That's going to be considered. Who's going to be considered someone special? This baseball player or whatever. If your head is going to be into deeper things and bigger things, and the guy's head's going to be into food, let's say, all day, into food. He's going to be just thinking about food. So he's going to want food. That's going to be like his biggest wish, is to have a good steak. But if someone's head is going to be into bigger things, so he's automatically going to want bigger things. The biggest things, the Gemara says this, that the havoyos of Abaye v'Rava are considered the dover kata. The back and forths of the Gemara is considered kleinamais, little teeny things. What's dover godel, what's considered big things, that's ma'aseh merkava. That's to speak about Hashem himself. The Yecheskel Hanavi, the merkava, to speak about Hashem, that's big things. So if someone wants to learn Gemara, let's say, in a deep way, not to learn Gemara like a little kid. So before he enters the Gemara world, his head needs to be into the Eibishter. And his head is going to be into Ein Seif Baruch Hu, into things that are humongous, the things that are big. That's going to make his Gemara be on a whole different level. He's going to learn on a totally different depth. Oimek, Roichar, his whole learning is going to be, it's like the Lagachover, okay? Or some Goy, some genius, the way he learns Gemara, and a regular guy learns Gemara. This guy, because his brain is so deep and so, deep and wide and open and this, so when he learns the same piece of the Gemara, he learns it 1,000,000 times deeper and 1,000,000 times wider and broader, and he understands it in a totally different way. So yes, a guy could open up a Gemara and learn, but he could understand it on a very shallow, low level. If he's going to learn Chassidus, I'll learn about the Eibishter, that's automatically going to open up his head to think on a whole different, deeper level, in a different way, and he's automatically going to understand the Gemara very different. That's one thing, but that's besides for the fact that there is a halacha. The Rambam says that a person needs to love Hashem. Or it's a halacha. There's a pasuk in Torah. V'aftes Hashem elikecha. How could someone come to love Hashem? So the Rambam says, how could someone come to love Hashem and fear Hashem? It's like we said before, a little kid. Where do your feelings go? It's according to your brain. Whatever your brain is, that's where your heart's going to go to. So the Rambam says, when a person is going to contemplate and meditate and learn about Hashem's greatness, how great Hashem is, and how awesome Hashem is, that's automatically going to arouse in him feelings. The brain, the Chochmah ben Adas, makes the feelings, and he's going to come to love and fear Hashem. So besides for the fact that it's going to make your Gemara better or whatever, but you need to love God. And the only way you're going to come to love Hashem is only if you're going to learn about Hashem. I'm going to tell you, love whatever. Love someone you never heard, you never saw, you didn't know nothing about him. Even by people. How are you going to love that person? Well, just what is this, magic? Love him, okay, love him, I love him. If you're gonna see how smart he is and this, and maybe think about how much he loves you and this and that, and sometimes let's say your father, and he created you and this, and he cares about you, and you're gonna learn and learn and learn, and how humongous he is and great he is and awesome he is, how much power he has. So then you're gonna come to love him. You can't. Love is not some blah blah blah. If you're going to learn about the greatness of Hashem, you're going to come to love Hashem. And that's a mitzvah, it's a chiyuv, it's a halacha, it's not And the Rambam ends off, what are we going to be doing when Mashiach comes? He says, the whole day, the whole night, what are we going to be busy with? We will not have any other occupation besides for learning about the Eibishter. This is what we're going to be busy with. To know Hashem. To know the Eibishter. And this is going to be the only thing. And it doesn't just say, the Rabbi brings places where it says, in Menachem, whenever it says Loi and Ella, it's Le'ikuva. There's certain things it says you should do it, but if you didn't do it, Nishka Feilach. Okay, so it's whatever was said Lehidr. Like it says, you can eat matzahs all 7 days. Well, you don't have to eat matzahs all 7 days. You have to is only the first night. You don't have to eat matzahs. But certain things, there's a chiyuv. Certain things, if you did it, good. If the leftover blood you pour in the shisin of the mizbeach, you don't have to do it. But certain things, if you didn't do it, the whole mitzvah is not as if you never did it. It's not an extra. The Rambam says this, that we're going to be busy only learning about the Eibishter, only learning Chassidus the whole day. This is not some added thing. He says, Lo yiyah kol elo ladasis Hashem bilvat. Not only lo yadz bilvat. This is going to be absolutely the only focus and occupation, and not only of Yidden. The Rambam says kol ha'ilo. Not only Yidden, even Goyim. The Rambam continues. This the Rambam has to add later on. The Yidden means that whatever he said before that is going on the whole world, even Goyim. What's every Schwarzer and every janitor and every Goy and every Lahavdil, every Muslim and I don't know what, is going to be busy learning about the Eibishter. It's going to be busy learning Chassidus. That's the only thing that they're going to, and it's going to be in a way of an ASIC. An ASIC means it's a business. It's not only, like it says, an ASIC means to add. A guy doesn't buy something for $10 and sells it for $10. Then it's a waste of time, and that's not called an ASIC, that's called someone stupid. Well, it's an ASIC that you buy it for 10 and you sell it for 20, for 15. You add. That's ASIC. That the ASIC of the whole world is going to be only to know the Eibishter. So now that we're holding any second Mashiach Tzedakah and take it from Yad Mamish, we need to live accordingly. We need to at least the minimum, even if we're not going to be learning the Siddur the whole day from morning to the night, but for sure that by Seder Chassidus in the morning, Seder Chassidus in the night, and you have an extra minute and a break over here, an extra minute and a break over there. The Chaparayim, take another Maimer of the Rebbe, take another Parak Tanya, learn some more, get connected to the Ein Sof. You get connected to Ein Sof. You have an opportunity to be connected to something infinite. You learn Chassidus. What did the Rebbe Rashab say? And the Rebbe said this over. When I'm sitting with the Lakutei Torah, I'm locked up. I'm sitting with Atzmo Sumohos. I'm sitting with the essence of Hashem Himself. The opportunity to be a multi-millionaire. I remember I used to go to the shiurim of Rabbi Yoel Khan in 770, all of a sudden. So I remember when I sat by him by shiurim, I felt like I was sitting, like when he would explain Chassidus, and I felt like I'm sitting with the biggest millionaire in the world. That's how I felt. Like I'm not saying that I felt like I'm sitting next to such a special person. That's not my point. I saw how this person is a millionaire. It says, Ein Ashir Ela B'das. What does it mean someone's an Ashir? Doesn't mean the guy's another $1 million in his bank account. But Das, in your head, if you have understanding of the Eibishter, that means you're rich. Ein Ashir Ela B'das. Also over here it says, Ein Ashir Ela B'das. A guy can have money. The Rebbe said a whole story once. There's a Pesach Sicha, Yiralef Nissen, of a guy which years somewhere in the Lamed. There was a multi-millionaire, a guy, that he was getting old. I don't know if I said it over here once. The guy was getting old. I said it last time?
No.
A guy was getting very old, and all of a sudden he started getting scared that people want to kill him and take all his millions of dollars. So this guy stopped eating because he was scared that if he stopped buying food in the store, maybe people are going to poison him and then take all of his money and whatever. So he stopped eating only fruits and vegetables and this and that. And then he didn't want to get a haircut from anyone. He was scared someone's going to chop his head off, when he stabbed him in his back. This guy's long hair, and he didn't cut his nails, and he didn't change his clothes because he was scared of this, and he was scared of that. He locked himself up in 1,000 rooms, and the guy ended up dying in his house out of just, what?
I think he went to a hotel. He was afraid to be in his house.
He was afraid to be in his house. So the Rebbe said, this is rich. This is a ben choy. The guy's money. What's his money worth? This guy's the poorest person in the world. What does it mean? Someone's rich when someone has treasure, when someone has wealth. That's in your head. If someone's learning Chassidus and he learns about the Eibishter, this is the biggest simcha the Alter Rebbe says in Perek Lamed Gimel. He gives a mashal, derech mashal, that someone a guy won the lottery. A guy inherited money. He didn't work hard at all to get it, and he got a huge, he won a huge amount. The guy would be happy. How the Rebbe says, Allah is kava v'kava lein kates, yeshlonu l'ismayach, halirushasenu, shimchilunu, alisenu, yichod avaya amiti, asher afilu baretz mitachas ein oid milvade. How much more so if a guy wins, inherits some Yerusha of millions of dollars, he's going to be very happy. He didn't work hard in it. He got something so good. How much more so? And the Rebbe says, "Ein kates without an end times more. We need to be happy with this Yerusha that we got from our fathers, from our brother Yitzchak and Yaakov, that they inherited to us this idea that we know that there's absolutely nothing besides for the Eibishter. You're connected with the biggest king, with the B'li Gvul, with Ein Sof, with B'li Gvul. This is the happiest thing you could get. This is the biggest thing you could get. And you're close to something infinite. This is, chaparayim. You have an extra minute, chaparayim, to connect to infinity. You want to be connected with some limited, limited things, or you want to connect, or you could connect yourself to $1 million, to Ein Sof, to the Eibishter, to Ein Moed. That's it. The chaparayim, to learn as much as Chassidus as you can. And we're not even going to get into this whole thing that people that do not learn Chassidus, Achmar al-Itzlan, that this is already speaking about the Shur Merah, that they end up without the Gemara also. I remember, I don't know if I should mention this, but I remember I was in Ali Torah Zav. There's a certain Bacher who was learning Gemara the whole day. The whole day sitting and learning Gemara. He said Chassidus, Gemara, sitting and learning Gemara the whole day. After saying it was Gemara. I know more than one Bacher that was like this. Everything was Gemara by them. And I tried to convince them, you have a little chayim. He didn't want to see this today. These guys today, I know. I don't know if the guys live in Shem Shabbos. For sure, he cut off his beard. I don't know. The guy is in the garbage. The guy who just wanted to learn Gemara.
Classmate of yours?
Classmate, yeah, it was my chavrus even.
Wow.
For a certain point, whatever. But he did that. So this is you're already getting to the Shur Mirah part. There's so many stories. There's no Eibishter in your world. Then what's all the Gemara worth? You know what I'm saying? What's your drive? What's gonna keep you? What's gonna be your engine over here? Learning Gemara, there's no Eibishter. You're learning Gemara, it's Geschmack. Okay, so you finished learning Shas now. Now what? Now you can go have fun. Now you can go to Reisishvas. Go. But if there's a Eibishter over here that you're serving, so the Eibishter doesn't finish. The Eibishter doesn't stop. You can't go do whatever you want, do some Aveda or whatever. Yeah, Titus, tell Shalei, Shema, Bali, Shema, whatever, but Yosoida is the foundation of everything. It's Leida Shir Shema Tzidishin. What's going to hold up everything else is only if you're connected. And you know the Eibishter, you learn about the Eibishter. This is going to bring you Yirah Shamayim. This is going to give you Yirah Shamayim. This is going to make you have fear of God. Without fearing God, so what are you going to do? People can do Avedas left and right if they don't fear God. It's all whatever Messiah B'toiv. When you learn Chassidus, so your Gemara, the Nigla is much more reich. The quality is much better. Quality wise, you can see the Gemara you learn, the Rambam you learn, even the Nigla you understand the Nigla, you understand the Pashta Pshat of Nigla better than a guy that only learns a Nigla. You understand it much deeper. You have a much sharper and deeper understanding in what you're learning. It helps out your Nigla. That I've said this many times. When you learn Chassidus, the Nigla that you learn, it's not only, like I said before, it's not only a skula. It's not only a skula. You got a bracha that your Nigla should be better, but also a pashtus. That it makes your head, gives you a broader understanding. And the Nigla that you learn in a much broader way. You don't learn it like a little kid. You learn it like a god. You learn it like, the Chassidus gives you a much broader seichel, and the learning that you learn, even the Gemara you learn, is much more reich.
Klar.
Much more klar and reich, exactly. L'chaim l'veracha. Ra'anenas l'soi giyaz amrolo Oy ven avshi asher balisa Ra'anenas l'soi giyaz amrolo Ven avshi asher balisa Gam l'shayyi Yatzit kasecha Ki leishaki Chavro V'ashem yavasi Rani nasef asai Ki azamrala Nasharbadi Sefasai ki azamrallah Servadizai gam l'zayni kalayayim Getzit kasecha ki leishu ki chafru Vakshay ravasi There's a Sikha the Rebbe, Pesach Sheni, Tavshat Mendel, 40 years ago. Kavaldik is Sikha, the Rebbe actually uses the words Hayro Hachini Flo, the most wondrous lesson we learn out of Pesach Sheni. The Rebbe says that what's going on over here in Pesach Sheni? What happened? You have Moshe Rabbeinu, you have the Eibishter, you have Torah and mitzvahs. Torah says, "Over Yomei Batul Karbanei." If the day passed, time passed, that's it. You lost out. You cannot make up anymore. It's too late. So you have Yidden, from a Yidden, and they were Talmud. So they, seemingly, the Rebbe says, they have a moon in Hashem, they have a moon in Moshe Avdei, and it came the time to bring the Korban Pesach, and they missed out. And Moshe Rabbeinu and the Eibishter did not come to them and tell them, listen up, because you're Tomei, we're giving you a second chance. They didn't tell them anything. So they could have said, because of their Amunah and the Eibishter and Moshe Rabbeinu, they should say, listen, they didn't come to me or tell me, because you were Tomei, we're going to give you this. They didn't tell me. So, because of a Yid's Amunah, you should say, listen, because you didn't come to me, Zeraya, this means that I lost out and there's nothing I can do about it. But what did the Yidden do? They did not say that. Even though they had a moon in the Eibishter, even though they had a moon in Moshe Rabbeinu, they did not say, we believe in them, and therefore, because you didn't tell us anything, there's nothing we could do about it. No. What did they do? They went to Moshe Rabbeinu, came to the Eibishter, and they went and they said, Lama Nigara. Why? Even though mitzvah the Torah, there's the Menachem mitzvahs I say, or then it was the Ramaz, till then, there was a certain amount of mitzvahs. They came and they said, why should we miss out? Why should we lose out? Why should it be any different? We want something, even though the Torah didn't give it to us, Hashem didn't give it to us, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't give it to us, he didn't hint to us, come and ask, nothing. Nevertheless, they're getting up and saying, excuse me, I want to bring a Korban Pesach Sheni, even though it's too late. Why should we miss out? And what did the Eibishter answer then? And the Rabbi actually brings out of here one of the simonim of Ikvis and Mashiach at the end of the Gemara in Masechta Soiter and Sanhedrin, when he gives the simonim for Mashiach, he uses the term, there's going to be this tzoros and this bad thing and that crazy thing and this whatever, it's going to look so mishuga. And the Gemara says, Ein lanu lishan, al mi yesh lanu lishan, ela al avinu v'shamayim. We can't rely on anyone. Nothing is going to save us. The only thing we can rely on is on our Father in heaven. Al avinu v'shamayim. So Pashta Pshat in the Gemara is, so who's going to save us? The Eibishter is going to save us from, Hashem is going to take us out of God's, Hashem is going to take us out of all of these stories. It's Pashta Pshat. But the Friedrich Rebbe and Bechlal and Sfarim, other Sfarim, they explain, no. This is part of this of the tzoris of Ikvus and the Mashiach. When you're saying there's going to be more chutzpah and more this and this problem and that problem, one of the problems is that Yidden are going to say, we're relying on the Eibishter. The guy's going to say, listen, who made all of this? Who made this whole Mishagas? Who made this whole balance? And the Eibishter did it. So who am I to come in and mix it in the Eibishter's cheshbonos to change anything? Who am I to tell the Eibishter what to do? Who am I to ask something that the Torah didn't say? The Torah says like this, Halacha says like this. Who am I to come and ask for something otherwise different than the Torah? So, that's going to be quiet. And that is part of the tzoris of Ikvis and the Mashiach. Because, why is it a tzoris? Because it says, Hakol miyedei shamayim, chutz miyedei shamayim. Yes, you rely on the Eibishter for all worldly matters. If there's this problem in financially and I don't know what, and all these other stuff, so you can say, okay, everything is gamzul l'toiva. Rely on the Eibishter. But when it comes to inyanim of Torah and mitzvahs and Yirah Shamayim, A Yid is not meant to say, okay, I'm relying on the Eibishter knows what he's doing, Moshe Rabbeinu knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. And they're waiting for you to get up and open your mouth. They're waiting for you to come and say, Lama Nigara. And the Rebbe points out that there's Ramach mitzvah saseh is connected to Ramach Eivorim Shalodom. 248 limbs of a person's body is the 248 mitzvahs. If you're missing one limb, you're on Baal Mum. You're sick. The person's sick. Part of the Ramach mitzvah saseh, which is Ramach Eivorim Shalodom, is the mitzvah of Pesach Sheni. Which means that this Indian of you demanding is part of it. If you're missing this, that you're demanding from the Eibishter, that this is part of the Torah mitzvahs. If you're missing this, you're not a complete person. Every single person, even a guy that's a tzaddik, that he brought the first Korban Pesach, he needs to also go mechayel chol. You need to stand up and demand for something, even if the Torah didn't give it to you on its own. The Eibishter is waiting for you to stand up, and that there, Chaim. There in the Sirah, a very famous Fabrengen. The Rebbe spoke about Mashiach, the man from Mashiach. People say, Eibishter knows what he's doing. The Eibishter put us in Golus. The Eibishter is going to take us out of Golus. The Eibishter knows that we're here in Golus. The Eibishter himself is in Golus. So, I'll sit around and wait for the Eibishter to bring me Mashiach. I'm going to sit and wait. Who am I to get up and tell the Eibishter what to do? Who am I to start giving the Eibishter advice? Who am I to ask the Eibishter something different than the way it says in Torah? And I'm thinking now maybe, a guy says it's Erev Shabbos. It says Mashiach can't come on Erev Shabbos. It's Shabbos. It says you can't come on Shabbos. It's Moshe Shabbos. It's the night. And B'nai Beis Hamikdash Balayla and Gula Balayla. I don't know what. Who am I to get up and say you want some Mashiach to come right now? Not like it says seemingly in Torah. That is the Yirah Hachini flaw that Rebbe says from Pesach Sheni. That the Eibishter, like the Rebbe brings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it says in the Medrash, Mis'ave litfilosum shel tzadikim. It can be that the Eibishter L'chadchila put someone in a certain situation, and the whole reason he did it is because he wants you to get up and daven. So if you're going to not daven and say, listen, Eibishter put me here, so what do you want? Let me stay the way it is. So you're missing the whole point. The whole point is that you should get up and daven and ask, and not say I'm relying on the Eibishter. And the Yid, what do we see from here? The koyach of a Yid. A Yid has a koyach to create something new that wasn't there l'chatchila, seemingly. The mitzvah of Pesach is Pesach Rishon. There's no Pesach Sheni. The one the Eibishter gave the mitzvah dinner with Sarai. That's the mitzvah. You didn't make it. You lost out. What's Pesach Sheni? No. The Yid has the koyach to ask for Hashem to give him something, even if he didn't get it from Hashem on its own. A Yid could recreate something new. A Yid could demand and ask for something, even if it's not the way it was set up originally. We could demand and have the koyach to demand for Mashiach to come. Now, even if the Eibishter has a standard Asach and this and that, we're not meant to rely and say, okay, the Eibishter knows he's going to bring Mashiach. No. We need to demand and say we want it to come now, when every day when you sing Shemana Esrei, you Samach David Avdecha, Meheira Satzliach, Kalashwas Kavinu Kol Hayoim. Every single day you're standing in front of the Eibishter and you're asking the Eibishter to bring it now. I saw, you see, on a Shavuos, Tavshin and Aleph, The Rebbe said, the Rebbe came out to greet everyone when they came back from Ta'alucha. The Rebbe stood in front of 770. So always the Rebbe would stand and say, and I think they would sing the Pesach Sheni, the Rebbe would come and that's it. Pesach Tavshin on Aleph and Shavuos Tavshin on Aleph. Not only the Rebbe came out, the Rebbe said a sikha for the people that came back for Ta'alucha. Shavuos Tavshin on Aleph, the Rebbe came out, and the Rebbe said, "Es steht in Polish Svarim that Nami Lachem is a begematria case." It says, "Kula moedim the batzeres moina Nami Lachem." Everyone is moide that on Shavuos you also need to have lachem, which means you have to eat and drink. It's not only to daven, it's not kula laHashem or chetzi laHashem, chetzi lachem. Kula moedim the batzeres moina Nami Lachem. The nafkamina is, could you fast? If someone wants to fast on Shabbos, if he saw a bad dream, he's allowed to fast. He has to make up whatever, but he's allowed to fast. On Shavuos, you're not allowed to fast. You have to eat and drink. There's no way about it. Even on Shabbos, you have to eat and drink, and your other Yom Tovim, you have to eat and drink. So Shavuos also, it's not that you also need to eat and drink. It's that you must eat and drink, and there's no way, there's no exception at all. You're not allowed to fast. Shabbos, if you want to fast, you can fast for within a certain condition. Shavuos, you're not allowed. You must eat. Okay. So now Milachem, the Rebbe says in Polish Svarim, Ish Labavich Chsidish Svarim. Not in Torah Oil, from the Rabbi of Chabad. In Polish Svarim. In Maimar Mordechai, from Meidchem in Dvorna. So he says, Nami Lachem is Begamatria Kates. Nami Lachem means it's Begamatria Kates. The end, that Shavuos is connected to Mashiach. So, I'm saying my own Herigish, what's going on over here? The Rebbe, where do you see the Rebbe bringing Polish Svarim? The Rebbe brings Chassidish Svarim. We have Rabbi saying in the Siyenu. What's his name? Rabbi Chaim Baruch Halberstam. And his brother, you have Chesed Halberstam. Halberstam is they're 8 o'clock from the Divrei Chaim it sums it off. It sums at 8 o'clock, Bobiv, and all these, all the Halberstams, all these Rebbe Shemishbachas are all Halberstams, all 8 o'clock. So he's at 8 o'clock from all the, and Halberstam, the Talmidim, and the Malshem, all these Groise Tzadikim. So his father, Chaim Baruch Halberstam's father, came to the Rebbe, and he says, why, when he comes to his kid's house, he sees, what does he have in his Svarim Shafel, Sichas, my brother with the Alter Rebbe, all of the, only Chassidish Rabbi saying in the Siyenu, he has nothing from his own Ezagui. He doesn't have in his Svarim Shafel. He's a Rebbe Shainikal. Where's all the sounds of Svarim? So the Rebbe told him, in Teres, Rabbi saying in the Siyenu is Nichlal Alts. All the Teres from everyone else is included in the Svarim of the Rabbi of Chabad. The Rebbe's limited selection. You know what I'm saying? Which Svarim the Rebbe, especially the Rebbe's by Morim. And here, the Rebbe is bringing from Polish Svarim, and the Rebbe is saying, the Rebbe is not only bringing, the Rebbe is saying, it's a state in Polish Svarim. I remember, Kuti Feldman told me, remembers when the Rebbe said it, like the Rebbe's cheeks. When you say the letter pay, so your cheeks, like, say, he remembers, like the Rebbe's, like when the Rebbe said Polish Svarim, how the Rebbe's cheeks were like whatever. So the Rebbe is mentioning clearly, what's the word over here? If it has a connection to Mashiach, if it's going to be machazik, if it has something to do with Mashiach, bring it from Polish Svarim, bring it from, who cares from where? Not who cares, but if it's from Svarim, if you can find some connection to Mashiach, like the Rebbe also asked in Vov Cheshvan, Tavshin Mem Vov. Someone wrote to the Rebbe that there's a radak, there's a chidah, that they emphasize the importance of waiting for Mashiach. The chidah says, why we say, what's this key? Should make Mashiach come fast? Because we're waiting. What do you mean because we're waiting? What type of reason is that? Give me this because I want it. What's the connection? Heal me because you're a great doctor, okay? Forgive me because you're a great, because you have a lot of rachmanis. Redeem me because you're a great redeemer. But give this to me because I want it. What type of reason is that? So the Chidah explains that yes, this is the reason. That even if the Yidden do not have any other schus for the Gula to come, the only thing they have is this, that they want Mashiach to come. That itself is the reason the Eibishter should bring the take us out of Golos right away. This itself. That's the Chidah that Atak says another whatever about why did he says so many thousands of people died in the times of David HaMelech. Why? Because they did not demand for the Beis HaMikdash to be built. So they tovu bin in Beis HaMikdash. There was a plague in the times of David HaMelech that they said he should say 100 brachas every day. But why did they begin with die? So the Radak says because they did not demand that they should already have the building of the Beis HaMikdash. They were taking it easy. So the Radak says if them that they never saw Beis HaMikdash B'chalal, it never was built in history, and they got punished for not demanding for the Beis HaMikdash to be built. It says that there was a Beis HaMikdash and it got destroyed. There was a second Beis HaMikdash. For sure, we have to demand the Beis HaMikdash to be built. Says that's why we say Rachaim or Bnei Yerushalayim we speak so much we have to demand the building of the Beis HaMikdash. So the Rebbe said that everyone should take these two sources. This is not the Rabbi, this is not Chassidish Svarim, this is not the Rabbi. The Rebbe says you should take it, and every single person should at least send it to 10 different people and ask that person that he should send it to 10 different people and whatever, to make this chain reaction that everyone should know. And the Rebbe actually then called up the Kfar Chabad magazine, and the Rebbe said they should print on the cover of the Kfar Chabad magazine these two pieces. And actually, just now in 770, when I was there, whatever, by Pesach, so someone dropped up a crate of old Kfar Chabad. So I went through it to see if maybe I would find that Kfar Chabad. And Baruch Hashem, I found it over there in that pile. And it was actually 2 weeks in a row that week, and the week after that, the Rebbe asked, someone else said the Rebbe from the Chassam Sofer, he says a similar thing, and the Menachem Lazar, a whole bunch of other, random sources, and the Rebbe said to advertise it. So if a random, even if it's not like the Rebbe wants, the Rebbe is bringing from Polish Sfarim, the Rebbe is bringing from all these Sfarim that are connecting the time to Mashiach, and you can find the connection to Mashiach, even if it's not from a Lubavitcher Sefer, you should bring it. Whatever, that was our Gedoma. So now there's the Sefer of Tiferes Shloima, the Radam Skenet. So in the Sefer, he has a Shmak of word about Pesach Sheni. How do I know this word? I didn't open up the Tiferes Shloima, I did. But when I gave the Bobbe Veruv, the way it's called, the Sefer Dvar Malchus, so he told me over this word. So it says regarding Pesach Sheni, when the Yidden came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they demanded Lomani Gora, so Moshe Rabbeinu told the Yidden, Indu v'eshma'o ma yitzave Hashem lochem. Stand over here and wait, and let me hear what Hashem is going to answer to you. So he asks, what's this word lochem? Obviously, you're talking about them. Well, I'm going to let me hear. You want to bring the carbon. So wait around. Let me ask Hashem what is he going to answer. Why does he need to emphasize? Wait and hear what Hashem is going to answer for you. So this, so that the Tiferes Shloima answers that when a Yid has a desire, a Yid has a chukah, a Yid has a want, a longing, the Eibishter does not, doesn't go for waste. When a Yid has a good desire for something, actually I heard this from Menachem, from your father many times. He says a very similar word on what the Rebbe says in Kiseitze Mem Ches, and also in Lech Lecha Mem Aleph, or Noach Mem Aleph, about Simcha. But here he says, this is what he says, when a Yid has a desire, a Yid wants something, it means something in Shammai. It's not nothing. So the Yidden had a very strong desire to bring the Korban Pesach. They really, really wanted to bring the Korban Pesach. So this is what Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them. I want to hear what's the Eibishter in Shamayim. What's Hashem going to answer Lochem, which means for your Tshuka. How is Hashem going to react to your, what's Hashem going to do with your Tshuka? And the answer is, so then the Eibishter saw that they really wanted it, so the Eibishter didn't make it called the Vatala. So the Eibishter gave them a Korban Pesach Sheni. So the Radomsker says, what do we see from here? Yes, that the Eibishter is mischashiv with a Chukka of Yid. Chukka of Yid. And he continues, and it says, if the Yidden would have a Chukka for Bias Malach HaMashiach, this is what he writes. If the Yidden would have the same Chukka desire that they can't handle, they demand from the Eibishter, we want Mashiach to come. The Eibishter is not going to answer the Yidden with nothing. They're not going to be left empty-handed. They're just not going to leave their Chukka for nothing. It's not going to be a Chukka levatala. The Eibishter is for sure going to answer the Yidden and give them what they want and give them Malach HaMashiach. And this is what he says over there. He says, so why isn't Malach HaMashiach coming? He says, why that there isn't this Chukka for Malach HaMashiach? This is what he writes. The Fetish Shleim. So the Bobavet, he said, so he took the Sefer and he said this, the Dvar Malchus, whatever, is Machazik, the Chukka and the Tzipi, it's Ma'orid and Yidden, and Chukka and Tzipi for Malach HaMashiach, and for sure the Eibishter is not going to, it's not going to be Rekom, and for sure this is going to be Makarev and bring it's going to bring Malach HaMashiach. But this is a word from the Fetish Shleim on Pesach Sheni, a Geschmack of word. On Mashiach, the word. Huh?
You went to my Pesach Sheni?
No, I went to him in Chodesh Adar. But he told me this word. He was saying his word was, when he writes over there, he connects it to Mashiach, the Fetish Shleim. He says, what do we see from Pesach Sheni? The Eibishter is mischash with what a Yid wants. So therefore, and he gives the Yidden what they want. He gives them a second shot. He gives them a cut. So to Mashiach. If the Yidden want, the Eibishter is going to give it to us. Ad Mosai,
Do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. La 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 la, did it, ya 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 ya. Oh ya 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 ya, did it, ya 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 ya. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. La 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 la, get it in my la 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 la, get it in my ya 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 ya.
Hey!
Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Da 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 la da 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 la da 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 la da la da la 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 da da. Ay 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 ay, mama mama ay ay da da. Oh, la 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 da da. Ay 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 ay. No problem. We don't want to wait. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. La 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 la, ay 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 ay, ay 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 ay, ay 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 ay. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait.
Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Oh, ay, 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 do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Ad Mosai, do we have to wait? We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Ay, 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 did it. Oh, la, 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 did it. Ay, 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 did it. Ay, 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 oh, la, 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 did it. Oh, did Evan Yisrael, that Steinsaltz was a genius of a genius, that actually writes to Shazad, a letter to Shazad, that on Evan Yisrael's Matzeva, he sees a real chassid, or whatever. Maybe if he wrote his Matzeva, his kid wrote his Matzeva, I don't know. But first of all, his name was Steinsaltz. And I never told him he should change it, he needs a bracha for the food. I said he should change it, instead of Steinsaltz, to Evan Yisrael. Instead of a stone of salt, they should change your family name to Evan Yisrael. So he changed his name. So on the Gemaras, it's Steinsaltz in big, and then in parentheses in small Evan Yisrael. And his Matzeva doesn't mention nothing of Steinsaltz. Just as only Evan Yisrael. And also, it doesn't say any Shavachim, any Tatatapams, Megillis, and whatever. There's a joke, there's a certain Lubavitcher that, you have to scroll down, when you have like a long so like, that's it in my Tzeva, some you have to scroll down, like while you're reading, you get like a whole Megillah. His whole Tzeva is a quote of the letter of the Rebbe to Shazar. The Rebbe writes that, when the Rebbe made the Siyum Sefer Torah for Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach in Shvat Tavshin Lamed, so he came as a messenger of Shazar, as a shliach of Shazar. He was Shazar's Chavrus, he stood with the Gemara, whatever, and Tanya. So he came and he said a pasuk was a shlicha. So the Rebbe writes back to Shazar, thank you for sending. I think that was the first time he came to the Rebbe. He writes, thank you for sending me this Choshev Shliach. And the Rebbe says, the Rebbe writes words that I saw in him, when I got to meet him, many, many more miles and kishroinos, that more than what people told me over about him. Like when I met him face to face, like he's much, much more talented and whatever. He was a genius of a man, and he's a real chassid of the Rebbe. And also they made a sefer. The Rebbe was very involved in a sefer called Kufas Limud HaRambam. Kufas Limud HaRambam. Rabbi Shem Tov was busy making it, whatever. So the Rebbe wanted to make it as fast as possible, but the Rebbe wanted that Evan Yisrael should write a Hagdoma about, like an article about the Kon of Limud HaRambam. So he told the Rebbe that Evan Yisrael said it's going to take him a month to write it. So he asked the Rebbe, because it could die to wait a whole month, not to print his book. So the Rebbe was rushing to print in order to get it to write this article. And the Rebbe thought, and the Rebbe said, yeah, it could die to wait a month. Now, if anyone knows, like I remember I'm speaking to Menachem Shapiro, he told me this story. By then, by Vayla Fatzasichis, to wait a month to print something was like waiting 50 years. Like the Rebbe could tell them in a half a second notice, I want tomorrow, you print a sefer that takes 20 years to make. Like that's the way they worked. These guys would live in a different, literally, like he told me, the Rebbe wanted the Madura Kam of Tanya printed. They wanted a whole fat, complicating sefer to be ready by like a certain date. By Yutas Kislev, Tavshim and Beis. And the Rebbe told them like 2 weeks before, and it was a lot of work to do. So what did they do? They all went to Empire Press, Okay? They were locked in over there. They were a box of sandwiches. They told goodbye to the wife for the next 2 weeks, for the family. They were there for 24 hours, like non-stop working. And they finished it, and they made it on time. And they made it not only for Yitzhak Kislev, it was ready for Tezayim Kislev. And when they gave the Rebbe the Sefer, the Rebbe right away said, I have to make a Farbrengen for such a thing. And the Rebbe came to the Farbrengen, and the Rebbe said then that I myself didn't believe that such a thing is possible. But Derech HaTeva, the Rebbe said, even Be'amun, I think the Rebbe said, such a thing is not even shaykh to get done. Why? So why did I even say to do? The Rebbe says, because I had Tzemun in the koyach of Chassidim. Chassidim have a special koyach, and Zemun Ois gefit. And the Rebbe, not only they made it before, Yitzhak Kislev was ready for Tezayim Kislev a few days before, and the Rebbe said that the Alter Rebbe, it's known that when they printed the Tanya, and it was ready for Chav Kislev, the Alter Rebbe was very, very batzad. And the Alter Rebbe came to the bima and the shul, and he was crying, he was banging on the bima. He said, Chav Kislev, Chav Kislev, Chav Kislev. He was screaming and screaming, and no one knew, like, what is this? But then in the end, he ended up being in the Masnagid's house on Chav Kislev, and he said that was worse than the 53 days in jail. And that was because they delayed it and they didn't do it on time. So the Rebbe said that my Daf Abrengen, that they printed this Sefer before Yitzhak Kislev. It was ready by Tezayim Kislev. They fixed what the Alter Rebbe wanted. They were masakin that Indian. But my point is, so the Rebbe wanted Evan Yisrael to wait a whole month to get into the right article. So I just read a Geschmacka article. He writes about the Rebbe, about I think for the Rebbe's 70th year Moledis or something. He writes an article, or later, whatever. I read it. He writes that he sees by the Rebbe is a munah in Mashiach. When he's by the Rebbe's Farbrengen, he says it's like a little kid. He said this is real, pure munah. This is not some philosophy. It's a munah like a little baby, like a little kid. You tell them. I remember when I was a little kid, and they told me Eliyahu Novi is going to come to the Seder to drink the 5th cup. I literally thought that Eliyahu Novi is going to come. Like he's going to come to the. I mamish thought that he's coming to the Seder. So I didn't want to go to sleep. I remember I was in my bed, and I couldn't go to sleep, and I crawl out of the bed and jump down, and come to the living room. And then say, no, he came yet? He came in, and my father said, what are you doing? I go back to sleep. He's going to come, don't worry. I'm going to call you when he comes or whatever. And I like was just jumping at it, and then like ended up falling asleep. Then in the morning, I said, oh, why didn't you wake me up? He said, yeah, he came already. He drank the Koshel Eliyahu. And I literally thought like that Eliyahu Novi came like a physical person. Eliyahu Novi came and he knocked on the door and he drank. Like, what did I know? A little kid. He's not only a munah pshuta. This is what you said. He doesn't have all this seichel over there mixed in that messes up the whole balakan and makes everything all it's poshut. He doesn't know why he's a baby. And Rabbi Yisrael writes about the Rebbe. So when he's by the Rebbe's Farbrengen, and the Rebbe speaks about how Mashiach is coming. Mashiach is going to come today. Is going to come before we make the bracha acharon, and today we're going to be in Yerushalayim, and we're going to bring the korban Talmud Shal Bein Arbaim, and even though it's before Mincha, it's still chaparayim to bring the Talmud Shal Bein Arbaim, and today we're going to light the menorah in the Beis Hamikdash, and the Amunah is real. You could touch it with your hands. It's like and he writes his words is so good. He writes it's like the Amunah of a little kid. This is the way that Rebbe is speaking. This is real Amunah. This is what we say, Ani Maimin, B'Amunah Shleima B'Vias HaMashiach. Mashiach doesn't say Ani Yodeya. It's not something, where does Amunah start, where your Seichel finishes, that's where Amunah starts. If you could understand it, this is Nicht Amunah. Amunah means what you don't understand, what doesn't make sense, that's Amunah. And that's what you need to have in Mashiach. After no Mashiach, but there has to be Amunah. The emphasis of the Rambam is that it has to be a munah. You need and this is Pesach. Pesach is a michled in Mamnusa munah. A Yom Tov of Amunah, we eat Amunah, the Amunah should be a primistic Amunah, not a makafdik Amunah, but you eat it. That's the whole idea of Moshe Rabbeinu, who's a Rayim, he takes Amunah, and he's on him a farness of Amunah, it makes you eat Amunah, it makes you live off of Amunah. And this is what Pesach is, that we eat Michledim and Brusa, and this is Pesach Sheni. We chaparayim have another opportunity to eat some matzah, to eat some amunah. It's not only to eat the dough, whatever, to eat a cracker. You're eating amunah over here. You have a Pesach Sheni, the chaparayim to eat. Appreciate. We should be machazek our amunah in the Eibishtet, we machazek our amunah in Mashiach. So be amunah. This is what we need now. To have a much the Amunah Mashiach is coming, take it from Yad Mamish. To have Amunah that it can be today, now.
It will be today.
Take it from Yad Mamish. Ani mai min, ani mai min, ani mai min, beyamuna sheleima, beviyas hamashiach, beviyas hamashiach, ani mai min, beviyas.
Mashiach,
B'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin, ani mamin, ani mamin, ani mamin, b'emunah sheleima, ay b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin, b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin, b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin, ani mamin, ani mamin, ani mamin, beyamunah sheleima, b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach, ani mamin, b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin, b'riyas HaMashiach, b'riyas HaMashiach ani mamin. It's like Boyman. Like Boyman, they would sing Gani Maiman. They've actually spoke about that. Pesach Sheni Fabrengen, we should speak about Tachonis to Tetzavir and all that. It says in Fabrengen, we should speak about Tachonis for like Boymer, for the like Boymer parades, and everyone should be Zecha B'Mishtatif. I don't remember, I don't know why I didn't even mention this. I brought this Koivitz, Dvar Malchus, that I gave out today. This is Tezvov Iyar. I said this story how I got it up here already last time, right?
I don't know.
I didn't say?
I don't remember. I remember you brought it.
So no one, you
brought
remember
it.
me saying this story how I got
You
this?
brought it even last time. Said something. Yeah.
No one remembers. Okay. The kid said, but today's Tezvov Iyar. And this is maybe should be like the mice of a poil, that something should come out of the Fabrengen. So, Hochten Mashiach, v'chulu v'chulu, but they gave the Rebbe this Koivitz. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned or said anyways, whatever, so I can fly with the Shia. After the Rebbe said that the straightest way, the Derech HaYeshara, Derech HaYeshara, the Zadis is Miz Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'Peil Mamish, the straightest way to speed up the coming of Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'Peil Mamish literally is through Al-Dei Shekalachat V'Echad Anoshim Nashim V'Taf Yosef Gulim Adat Teinu B'Chalal V'Miyuchad V'Inoni Gulim Mashiach. Through this, at every single yit, men, women, and children will add in learning Torah in general, especially in the topics of Gula and Mashiach. So they printed a kovetz, Vad Lafotz Sichos in Crown Heights, printed a kovetz with 4 sichos of the Rebbe, explaining the last 2 prakim of the Rambam that speak about Mashiach. And they called it kovetz Chidushim Ubiyudim Bilchus Malachim prakim and Alvin Beis, not Dvar Malchus, a little yellow booklet, not a big format. And they gave it to the Rebbe, thank you very much, whatever, that's it. Then, whatever they printed in America, they would print in Eretz Yisrael also. Any kovetz they printed in America, they reprinted it in Eretz Yisrael. Now, whatever they reprinted in Eretz Yisrael, they reprinted it, but in a bigger format like this, and they added 2 big words, Dvar Malchus.
This is from Eretz Yisrael.
This is from Eretz Yisrael. Now,
That's right.
in Eretz Yisrael, yeah, they would reprint everything,
Big.
but it would print it in Kfar, but anything, all the years,
It would be bigger.
from the Chavs,
And this was before email.
before email, WhatsApp, before anything.
The
The
fax.
Chavs, the Lameds, the Mems, the
They would
Nuns,
to mail over the.
they would mail over the booklet,
Right.
and then they would reprint it. So till Tavshin and Aleph, they would reprint it, the exact same thing, but they would add 2 words, it would be the small, exact same thing, they would just add, printed through Sinif Kahos, Meretz HaKodesh, in Kfar Chabad. They reprinted the same thing. From
What was
an
it called?
Aleph and
What was it
on,
called?
what?
What was it called? The Kuti Sichis?
Whatever it is, L'chutei Sichos, whatever they printed in New York, the same small format, till non Aleph. They reprinted it, and they just added 3 words, that it's Kfar Chabad. Kahos and Eretz HaKodesh, Kfar Chabad. Okay. From non Aleph, they reprinted everything, but in a big format, called it Dvar Malchus. Why, how did that start? Because then there was someone in Eretz Yisrael that was making everyone scared and saying there's another Holocaust going to come, and this, and the Eibishter hates people that are not keeping Torah and mitzvahs, and they're going to get destroyed, and I don't know what. So there's a Chassidus Yid in the Tuvia Palace. He took that Sikha that the Rebbe spoke against what he said, and he took it the way it was printed in the Kfar Chabad magazine. Kfar Chabad magazine, they start off before all the articles and whatever. The first thing is a Sikha that Rebbe, and they call it Dvar Malchus.
That's what they do always.
Well, they do always. So he copied it from the Kfar Chabad magazine. So Kfar Chabad magazine is a bigger format, 8.5 by 11, and it's and over there in the beginning it says Dvar Malchus. So he reprinted like thousands of copies of that. I think it's like Yechin and Aleph, and he flooded the whole Eretz Yisrael with it. And then again, the Rebbe said, and then they were scaring everyone about the bar, Scud missiles and this, and the Rebbe said Eretz Yisrael is the safest place and this. So he reprinted it that Sikha, and a copy from the Kfar Chabad magazine again. This time, he put the words Dvar Malchus that the Kfar Chabad usually has it on the top of the Sikha, he put it on the cover. So it was a plain kovetz just with 2 words Dvar Malchus. Then there was like another Sikha that Rebbe said, a third Sikha, maybe Shmoisen and Aleph, or Mishpatim. So he, then already, the Rebbe said, you're printing it, get permission from Kahos, whatever, but you should print it with my Shar Blat and Kahos's Stempel. That only, with the words Dvar Malchus, that's how it started off. So from then on, he started printing anything that Rebbe said, any weekly Sikha, and anything that came out from then on, was printed in Eretz Yisrael with the name Dvar Malchus in big, whatever it is. It was Dvar Malchus, L'chutei Sichos in small. Dvar Malchus, Maimon the Rebbe. Dvar Malchus, English Kodesh, whatever it is. So they sent a booklet of Chidushim of the Yurim, Bilchus Malachim, the Rebbe's Sichos explaining the last 2 chapters of the Rambam. He sent it to Eretz Yisrael. And he went, and he did the same thing like he did always. He took the same thing. He made it in a bigger format, and he added 2 big words, Dvar Malchus. Rabbi Menachem Shapiro told me many times, he called up then Tuvia Palace and he said, you're printing this book, they write in a big format, and he said, this time don't write the words Dvar Malchus on the cover, because it's not Oifen HaMiskabel, because it's Hilchas Malachim of the Rambam, and it's Hilchas Malach HaMashiach. And you're calling the Rebbe Sichos, the Rebbe is the Malach over here. Dvar Malchus. So you're pushing it too much already. So don't write Dvar Malchus on the cover of this booklet. So Tuvia Palace said, okay, 100%, you're right. He called up the printer, And he said, it's already too late. We already printed a couple of thousand booklets. I'm not going to, put all of that in the video. It costs money. I can't. Okay. Rabbi Tuvia Pellis took a booklet. He went to the airport like he did. Well, any booklet he printed, he went straight to the airport. He found a Lubavitcher. He lived in Kfar Chabad. The airport is 10 minutes away, whatever. That's flying to New York. And he said, take this and give it to the Rebbe right away. When was this? Pesach Sheni. The Mendel Winter, if anyone knows him from Crown Heights, he actually has a son over here in Yeshiva Gedel of Miami. He has 2 kids over here. So Mendel Winter, Mendel Winter from Crown Heights. So he was there in the airport. So the Apollos gave him the booklet. He said, when you come to New York, go straight to Maskidis, give it right away to the Rebbe. He came then, Tezvav Iyar, Monday morning, came into Maskidis and he gave the booklet. The Rebbe already had the exact same thing. But what's the difference? It was smaller without the words Dvar Malchus on the cover. This is the same, 4 sichos, bigger format, with 2 big words, Dvar Malchus on the cover. Which according to Ezagui, it's better if it would be without it. The Rebbe gave it to Maskidus, and then Rabbi Groner gave it to the Rebbe. The Rebbe came out of his room for Mincha. The Rebbe had it in his kapota, like this, and the Rebbe pulled it out. And the Rebbe said, "Man soll das drucken, verheim bei Nacht. 10,000 copies. Ich will das austeilen für jeder einer. So sein mit der Format, with this format, this big, with that color, the same color, with the Akdasha for the Rebbe's brother in Yisrael Arulay, and it soll sein K'moshahu, the same way it is."
How many hours did Rebbe give them?
The Rebbe was there for 3-4
How many hours
hours.
did Rebbe give to get it done to 10,000?
So this was 3:15.
And he wanted
This
by
was
6
9
hours
o'clock.
later.
9 o'clock at night, 9:30.
6 hours later, print.
So they went bung, 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 bung. Right.
And they did it on time?
Yeah.
Well, then printers were already working fast.
Now what's interesting is
Oh, Makel thing?
so now it was when the Rebbe did Bahab, so the Rebbe would daven Ma'ariv early. The Rebbe was fasting that day. So they didn't want the Rebbe should daven Mincha Ma'ariv. And right after Ma'ariv, give out the Kudus now for another 3 hours. The Rebbe was already fasting. So Zaidi told me, remember, he told them to say that the booklets are not ready yet. And it's going to be...
Rebbe
No, the Menachem Shapiro. He said you should say that the book Zaidi is Reb Menachem Shapiro.
Yours is not Menachem Shapiro?
His mother is Reb Menachem's daughter. So the Rebbe is
Your father's not Rebbe. I thought Rebbe
whole
Dunn.
track.
No, that was my uncle. My father was elder.
Oh. Huh.
So the Rebbe, now what's interesting, they try to play this, this Kivayachol shtick with the Rebbe, whatever you want to call it. The Kontreisim are not ready, so the Rebbe's going to leave and come back when the Kontreisim come. Because they wanted the Rebbe to eat. So Chav Ches Sivin, they said the same thing. Said bald the Kontreisim seien nicht angekommen, so it sein nichts, then I could say, Kat, Cheskel Kat said, Chav Ches Sivin also there was a booklet. So by Chav Ches Sivin, they said the Kontreisim are not, the Rebbe was also fast. He never came back from the oil or whatever. The Kontreisim are not here yet. When the Kontreisim come, the Rebbe was going to give it out. So the Rebbe said, why should we make a hefsik? Meanwhile, I'll say a sikha. And the Rebbe started saying a whole new sikha. So they realized they're not playing games with the Rebbe. Like they say that the Kontreisim are not ready yet. The Rebbe should go eat. So after half a second, you see them like dumping out of the ladies section over there from Union. All the box of the Kontreisim, the Rebbe said another 8-minute sikha, whatever, then the Rebbe gave out the Kontreisim of Chav Ches Sivin for a good few hours. But by the Dvar Malchus, they said the Kontreisim are not ready yet, and the Rebbe came back. The Rebbe went to his room, and the Rebbe came back to give out the Dvar Malchus, which was probably the only time the Rebbe came into 770 just to give something out. Every other chaluk of any other countries was after davening, after a sikha, after this, so the Rebbe gave out. Here the Rebbe came into 770 just to give out the kuntres. And the Rebbe actually took his time. The Rebbe, it was called for like a certain time, and the Rebbe didn't come, and there was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. He told me, remember, he told, I don't know who labeled Grown or someone else, he said maybe it wasn't a smart idea to say it's not ready yet. maybe the Rebbe is not going to come. I don't know. They were like worried because like the Rebbe was meant to come 9:30 or 9 o'clock, and it was already 9:30. It's like much later. And the point was,
the Rebbe said noon. No, they didn't eat.
Huh?
The Rebbe didn't eat.
The Rebbe didn't eat, but they said it like an hour later. How much does the Rebbe need to eat already? But the Rebbe didn't come an hour later. The Rebbe came much later after that to give out the Dvar Malchus. And what's the point I want to say? Another thing we see different by the Dvar Malchus, any other Chalukah, the Rebbe didn't let anyone know in advance. It was a surprise. No one knew. People, whoever was able to chaparayim from Borough Park, from here, there's a good few hours, and the guy drove in from Muncie, an hour and a half away. New Haven, whatever, people would drive in because they knew it took take some time. That Dvar Malchus was the only thing that I know someone, Yeralif Nissen Tavshin Mem Beis. It was the first time that I gave out a Tanya to everyone. So, and there was a very long Fabrengen. Someone told me he was by that Fabrengen. And he left like 10 minutes before the Rebbe mentioned that he's going to give out a Tanya. He didn't get a Tanya. He didn't know that Rebbe was going to give out a Tanya. He was in 770.
That was the big Tanya?
The big fat brown Tanya. He was there by the Fabrengen and he didn't get a Tanya. Why? He didn't know. The Rebbe didn't tell anyone. In the end, the Rebbe surprised. I'm giving out now a present to anyone that came to the Fabrengen. The Rebbe didn't say nothing, but all the other.
Is that when it was like the video that you see them going crazy about?
Yeah, that was the first time, and the Rebbe stood up, and the Rebbe said,
"We're not going to.
I'm not going to continue." Right, and the Rebbe was screaming and making with his hand, made a whole, And I said, "I'm going to stay here till the last person gets a time. There's no need to push. There's no need to this. Everyone should wait in their place and whatever."
Crazy video.
I know someone. There's a shlich in Toronto, Mendel Bernstein. You know who he is. He told me he was in Yechidis. Tavshin Lamed Tes, and then when they came into Yechidis, the Rebbe told them then to go to Maskidis and get a Tanya with his signature. The woman, the Rebbe said, to get a siddur with his signature, and the boys, the Bacharim, and the men to get a Tanya with the Rebbe's signature in the Tanya. He went to Maskidis. They told him there's nothing left. Come back tomorrow. He came back the next day. He told him he didn't get a Tanya from. The Rebbe told him to go to Maskidis. He didn't get one. He says the next year again, Tavshin Mem. He went into Yechidis. The Rebbe told him, go to Maskidis to get a Tanya. He went there, we don't have one. He says he remembers Benjamin Klein coming out of the Rebbe's room with a box of Tanyas with the Rebbe's songs, and everyone trampled him and jumped and everyone took it out. And after 30 seconds, there was nothing left. And he was a little kid, tried to get one, the Rebbe taught, and he didn't get one. So you can imagine over here, Aleph Nissen Tavshin Mem Beis, the Rebbe was giving out Tanyas. People were scared. Maybe I'm going to miss out. So everyone's jumping, and dancing at everyone's head to try to chaparayim to get a Tanya. But the Rebbe said every single person is going to get it. The Rebbe stayed till like 5 a.m., literally. The Rebbe stayed till 5 a.m., and in the end, the Rebbe was like this. It's a big, heavy Tanya, it's a little contest. The Rebbe was giving it out like this. The Rebbe's hands was pashet. The Rebbe was there for hours and hours, literally, till giving to like everyone. Now the Dvar Malchus was the only thing that the Rebbe said after Mincha, 3:30 or 3:45, the Rebbe said a whole Sikha. And why did I remember? Because the Rebbe said, "Mitzvah too great in Lag Ba'omer, should start to prepare for Lag Ba'omer." And then there's unheibendig from learning them countries. What's my Taylor noch Maidif? And the Rebbe already said, "I'm after Maidif, I'm going to give out a countries." With the anyone that was listening in, people flew in from Montreal. People went to the airport, bought a ticket, and flew in. Or even people that could drive. You have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. People made it. People could drive from Montreal, from Canada, from Toronto, whatever. People flew in. Right? Menachem told me, remember, people flew in, people from Florida, people knew that they could have an opportunity to get a kundis from the Rebbe. And they were able to make it. They chaptaran, they jumped on a plane and they came here. But the Rebbe let people know in advance. All the other things, the Rebbe didn't let people know in advance. I'm thinking the Rebbe came extra late, that just gave more people a chance to come. So, and the Rebbe stood there for 3-4 hours giving out a contest. And I think it's one of the most, that just shows how much the Rebbe wanted everyone should get it. It's that the Rebbe let people know in advance.
Who's that one, the one you're holding?
That's from Front Bar, right?
This is for my my mother. My mother got this from the Rebbe. My mother got it, and I also got it from the Rebbe, like I'll explain in a minute, which is also to be Mepharis and Nissim. I don't know if I told you this. I don't know if I told you. No. So the Rebbe gave out this booklet to every single person.
That size? That
This exact booklet.
I have one at home.
Your wife got one.
I must have it in my house.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
probably. I
that
just didn't know it's so big.
Yeah.
A whole
Now
bunch
you
of-
asked me, my
Your mother got
my mother got it, and I also got it. How did I also get this go to this? So in my house, like you said, you have a shelf where you have all the stuff that I gave. In my parents' house also, there's a shelf where you have all the contrasim and all the tanis and everything. The only booklet that was missing was this booklet, the Dvar Malchus. So this I paid attention when I was a Mesifta Bacher already. When I was 15 years old, I realized it was missing, and I asked my mother, where is it? She said, Miss Probably, I didn't realize it's from the Rebbe, because now every other booklet has Dvar Malchus, every week has Dvar Malchus. And she didn't pay attention, she's not, and she took it and she threw it in Shabbos. So I gave up that I'm ever going to see this kovetz again. And I felt very bad. Now, as time progressed, I started koching in the Rebbe's Beyurim and Hilchas Melech HaMashiach. I learned the last 2 prakim of the Rambam Baal Peh, and I would learn it every single day. And even now I try to say it as much as possible. The Chazrit Baal Peh, the last 2 prakim. And then I started in my head trying to, when I said a few words of the Rambam, to think, how does the Rebbe learn these through these few words and all of his sikhs? And I tried to look up more sikhs and more sikhs and more biurim and more biurim. And meanwhile, I was in my head, I was like organizing the Rebbe's biurim on each few words, and I was learning it every single day, these prakim, every single day after Ma'ariv. Until I thought we should make a sefer of all of the Rebbe's biurim on Elvis Mashiach. And Mekitza, we sat for a good few years with the Zaidi, and we put together all the Rebbe's biurim on Elvis Mashiach, and I worked very, very hard on this sefer. But throughout me working on the sefer, whenever I thought about this, that what's missing from everything that Rebbe gave out is Davka the Dvar Malchus, I felt like a slap in the face. I felt literally like, okay, you're going to koch in Mashiach, in Hilchas Mashiach, in the Rebbe's Torah and Hilchas Mashiach, and I printed even a kunteris, a soft cover booklet. When I started off, Dvar Malchus, the exact same name, I put the same sharblat, but I said, everything by the Rebbe is meduyik. It's not just mikra nikris, it happened to be. You're missing this means that you don't deserve it. And not only that, my father's and my mother's is missing. Both of them weren't in the house. From all the other, everything else is there. So I felt very, very bad. Now, to tell you that Rebbe said to Lord Yonah Gul Mashiach was Malchus Shebetiferes. Vov Iyar. Tov Shin Pei, Corona, everyone was locked up in their house and whatever. So I was busy working on the sefer a lot, and I was just like, I was just like sitting and working on the sefer many, many hours every day. Now our family has a storage, whatever, in Essence. In Crown Heights, there's a storage house. We live in an apartment, there's no room for believable things. So my parents or whatever have a storage with so much stuff over there. So my mother wanted to move everything from one floor to a different floor. Like that, it would be half the price and save a lot of money. So my brothers went to help out to move everything from this floor to that floor. I wasn't involved. I was busy with the sefer. I had no time. My brother, from this whole grocer storage, which is full of boxes and boxes and boxes, he took one box. He saw it says like Old Beis Mashiach and Kfar Chabad and whatever, and he brought it home. I have a shicha, like a desire for these type of antiques and whatever. I buy these stuff. Some of if I have I like old Svarim and old Tracim and stuff. But I had a skafia, and I didn't open up this box. I said I have to be focused. I'm working on the sefer now. Like I was literally working like a meshuggah. Like I wasn't even like it's about the extra 5 minutes schmoozing. I was like so locked up. Like my first opportunity to look at it was Shabbos, because there's no computer. I can't type. I can't work on the sefer. So I remember it was Mitzvah Vov Iyar, Zayin Iyar, and I remember right after Mincha, Erev Shabbos, it was already Shabbos. I thought it might be before Shkia, whatever. Communicate Yisrael, Teirahu, and then I went straight to the box, and I'm going through the box,
You daven home.
Everyone's corona. It's tough to pay corona. So I'm going through the booklet. I see some Kfar Chabad from this and Kuntis from the Chos, all these interesting things. Then I see a little blue thing popping out on the bottom. I remember my heart started pumping. I said, I wish this would be the Malchus. And I pull it out. I skip the whole order, and I see right away Dvar Malchus, Kedush Mabrum Malachim. I open it up, and I see with the Rebbe's dollar and everything in my mother's handwriting. She writes, Erev Tezai Nir Taf Nun Shen Aleph Niskabum Yad Akdosha Shal Kedush Esad Mishvita. My mother's name is Ezagui. I remember for me this was Simchas Torah, and I remember this is like the first time I felt in my bones, mamish, like I don't know, maybe I mamish felt in my bones that the Rebbe is alive. It's not only the Rebbe is alive, and he's alive in his room, and I felt like this, that he say that the Rebbe is a roya, the Rebbe is a shepherd, and lo yaziv a roya sein marisay, the Rebbe doesn't leave, and the Rebbe is involved in our private life, and the Rebbe knows what's happening to every single person, and the Rebbe is mamish. It's not only alive in Shamayim, alive in the Chai Vakayim, and I don't know what. In 770, or however you want to look at it, he's Chai Vakayim in the oil, and he's Chai Vakayim. He's Chai Vakayim, but he does. But he's alive. He's in the Shabbat Bagufa. What does that have to do with me? The Rebbe is Chai Vakayim. The Rebbe is, and it wasn't even a moon. I mamish felt it. Like for me, for 30 years, the booklet that Rebbe gave is buried. I never thought I'm going to see it again. And I remember then, Dafka then is when I finished the Sefer. Like a short time later is when I sent it to the designer to set it up. This is like after years of collecting and working and sitting with the Zaidi to go over the Sefer, like Avodas Perech for 3 years. Remember then, Zayin right after Malchus Shabbat Tiferes. The Rebbe gave not only a letter Nigris Kodesh or a dream of the Rebbe or sing a video of the Rebbe by the oil like I got. Went to this from the Rebbe's Heilig ahead, and I felt like this is not the Rebbe's a balabos over his and we have to know that the Rebbe is alive. That's Mapal Mamish. It's not only alive in a way of he's alive. You know, even before Gimel Tammuz, what does it mean that Rebbe is alive? So the Rebbe is alive, but people think they can fool the Rebbe. To play around his back, he doesn't see. He's in his room, but doesn't know what I'm doing in your hoppets. That's not the point. The Rebbe knows what's happening everywhere, and the Rebbe is you need to have a void about matal amayla, but the Rebbe knows it's not. This is not. I felt this is not like. That's the first time I felt. This is not. Beles Bereira in Chabad. So what are you going to do? What's the other option? Yeah, how are you going to be machanech alabavitcher after Gimel Tammuz? What are you going to tell him? You have to say that the Rebbe is alive, so you can feel that this is like you have no other choice. But no, it's emes la mito yilagami. This is mamish. This is the way. This is reality. If you don't chap it, so it can be writing shalamuna most of the times. Here, I remember I had a feeling that I remember after this happened. I don't know why I was like mamish ba'ananim. I felt like walking to the oil. I remember it was like Lel Shabbos, but I had such a feeling like I want to walk to the oil right now. I don't know. I was with Paul Mamish. I didn't do it, but I was.
It's been done before.
It was done before, but I'm saying I felt in my my bones. Like someone told me. I remember I said that you can't have something more begoli than the Rebbe coming to you and speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rebbe gave this to your mother and it went like the mother got it. She never ever went or whatever. I don't know what happened with it. For 30, the Rebbe knew what's going to happen. The Rebbe knew what's going to happen. What's I wasn't even pregnant in my mother's stomach then until a few years later. The Rebbe knew what's going to end up happening with this booklet. This booklet, Pearl Mamish, was mistama in the hands of like 500 Admoidim and Rabbanim, whatever. Any Rov I went to, and I brought them the Sefer, I showed them the kuntres, and I made sure they should hold it, because in the Rebbe's hands. And the Rebbe had, the Rebbe would ask, and he would verbring. My father told me every year after Pesach. And every year he would say the same thing like a tape recorder. But every single Achlan Shapesach, he'd say, why did the Rebbe need to give out a time in Aleph, Neshim, and Beis? This is before the Rebbe gave another 15 countries. That was like the only thing everyone got from the Rebbe. But the Rebbe, I don't have a Tanya in your house. Everyone has a Tanya. He says, obviously the Rebbe wants you to learn the daily Tanya from that Tanya that the Rebbe gave. And your Havana in Tanya is going to be different if you learn it from a Tanya that the Rebbe gave. The Rebbe held the Tanya, and the Rebbe gave it to you. The Rebbe spent time. Obviously, there's a Gedusha, the Rebbe, and you're going to learn Tanya. From a Tanya from the Rebbe, you're going to understand Tanya on a different way. The Rebbe actually said that when the Rebbe gave the Tanya with his signature in La Mites, what I mentioned before, the Rebbe told people, "I'll learn from them Tanya, and so it's Potter Varen for now Vegas." That's what the Rebbe told people when he gave them. So I had a feeling like these are going to go show all the Rabbanim, they should hold the kundis that the Rebbe is held. And I made sure they read these words. They should read it. Haderech, I showed them like nicely. Haderech, Hayushara, they should see, they should sink in. The Rebbe gave us like a key, a tool. The Rebbe gave us a tool, a jet. Haderech, Hayushara, the straightest, easiest way to get to the Gula is to learn about Mashiach. People are looking for different ways, different techniques. Even then, especially, this whole sikha, people were clapping their head in avant. People didn't know what to do. That's the term actually labeled Groner told the Rebbe. He asked the Rebbe, what is Chassidim doing after this? He said, "Clap the cup in avant." People don't know what the Rebbe wants. People are so. The Rebbe says, why are they so confused? I said clearly by the Farbrengen, what should we do? Haderech HaYeshara, Chaim Gutnik was very, very close to the Rebbe, very, very close. The Rebbe invited him to eat on Shabbos in his house, whatever. He had many kiruvim from the Rebbe, Yosef Gutnik's father, and he wrote to the Rebbe a whole letter after Chavchas Nissen that he was zoich all the years that the Rebbe was markad of him so much, and Chibbe Yeseder, and whatever. He wrote a whole long letter. So he says, if the Rebbe could please be so kind and reveal to him what does he want from everyone to do, and the Rebbe said, I'm giving it over to everyone, do whatever you can. What does the Rebbe want? What's the, everyone's like, what's mysterious words? What did the Rebbe mean? This is like, we're never going to understand what the Rebbe meant. What does it mean to be in action? 10 Yidden tells ein action. And 2 times, these are, this is for Malachi Ashoris to understand. So he asked the Rebbe, what did the Rebbe mean? So you know what the Rebbe answered him? The Rebbe sent him a copy of Tazria Machayin and Aleph in the mail. The Rebbe said, the Rebbe wrote to him, Ma'anosei B'sicha Mitzurif Mazeh, or whatever. The Rebbe wrote, like I said clearly what do I want, and it's in the Sikha. The Rebbe sent him a copy of the Sikha of the Ziriyah Mitzvah. That there's a derech, hayushara, there's a very easy, simple, fast way to bring the Gula, is to learn about Mashiach, and maybe should help you. So, it's already, what's the Rebbe's law? Should over choyrif kol hakoyitz.
So learning about Mashiach.
There's a marayin happen. We shouldn't kratz around. Time is passing.
So learning about Mashiach.
To learn about Mashiach, point mamish. It's not rocket science. You don't need to become a scientist. You need to become a professor. It's not the asu sulomis. Lei b'shamaymi, lei me'ver layomi, lei lechoikehi, yekorei v'lecha adover moed v'ficha v'vav chol ha'soyis. This is not hard, complicated. It's very easy. The Rebbe went and gave this to every single person in their hand. It's very simple. You have to make the biggest student, the whole world, like the Rebbe said. It's a learning wagon Mashiach. The whole world shall learn and learn and learn and learn. And the Rebbe said, this is going to make Mashiach come up on Mamish. This is the easiest way, the fastest way, the straightest way. The Rebbe said, it's an easy way. People think they need to, that it's very hard, it's very complicated. The whole entire world, this should be at least, everyone should take a chlota from this Farbrengen to add and learning Torah in order to go to Mashiach. The The Rebbe gave out a booklet about Mashiach should add in learning the Rebbe's Torah. The Rebbe said that Tazirim Mitzvah, that when you're learning about Mashiach should be especially Bafrat, B'Teirosai, Amorim Olukadisicha Shal Nisiderein, especially in the Rebbe's Torah. There should be a Ma'aser B'Poil, something should come out. And to help, to affect another Yid to learn about Mashiach. Chaim, Mashiach and Al-Chaim. Like in the Zimun?
Yeah.
Ay, 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 yada, 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 yada,
So the Rebbe said that when you meant by 2,000
is to add, you're going to get the
Wow. I don't know. It feels like it should be like a huge thing.